The World Juniors are underway, and I'm seeing some Habs fans say that with the way Shane Wright is playing with a goal and an assist, that we should be reconsidering our pick for Juraj Slafkovsky because of how well he's playing. We don't agree at all, and we're going to be talking about that, plus some updates on the other Habs at the World Juniors and the news that Justin Barron finally got called up to the big club, so you won't want to miss anything we have to say on this edition of Habs Digest. Hello, bonjour, ahoy, and welcome to today's news edition of Habs Digest. I'm your host, Josh Gosse, alongside my co-host, Jesse Poirier, and we're back from our little mini Christmas break. And hey, if you guys are enjoying the videos, if you missed us, subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave a comment. We love your guys' support, and we hope it continues into the new year. Jesse, that first game from Canada sure wasn't what we wanted, but sure, Shane Wright went out and got 2 points as the captain. Connor Bedard, maybe a potential Habs draft pick this coming year, looked amazing, but I'm seeing some Habs fans on Twitter, maybe some on Reddit, some on Facebook saying, look at how good Shane Wright is. Why did Montreal pick Juraj Slafkovsky? And we're here to talk about that first and foremost because I could not disagree more with that sentiment.
No, I definitely hear you on that. You know, he did play a good game. It was a beautiful goal with the tip in, and I think he's aware of the parts of his game that's lacking, defensively, back checking. So I did notice him in the game, definitely making an effort on that. But I will say I definitely have some concerns, Josh, with just, the overall body language of the team, starting with the head coach, downwards. Of course, we don't have all the information on everything, but just the naming of Shane Wright as captain is a little bit questionable to me, just for the fact of there was, rumors about kind of attitude problems, and that was kind of maybe the reason, or maybe a little bit too much cockiness that the Canadiens didn't go with him. I don't know about that personally. I don't have that insider information. What I did see was on draft day when he was looked over, and when he was picked number 4 by the Seattle Kraken, when he did go up on that stage, he shared a look, I think, with the Canadiens, I think kind of staring them down. And for me, that's very unprofessional, so maybe it does let me think maybe he does have some attitude issues. I don't know. I don't think that we should be too worried about Team Canada at this point in time. But, his game has stepped up. But to be honest, he's been playing good against lower competition. And until I see that at the NHL level, I'm not too worried. And even that being said, I know that Juraj Slafkovsky is going to develop into an amazing NHL player. So stop the slander. We're not worried about that over here at Habs Digest.
Not at all. Slav is our boy. We're going to ride with him until we die. He is awesome. Shane Wright, sure, he looks okay. Yeah, those attitude problems are an issue. He's hopefully going to grow and hopefully lead this Canadian team because we want to see them succeed. We want Shane Wright and Connor Bedard to lead this team to a gold medal. And this first game honestly should serve as a wake-up call for Team Canada. They lost to Czechia 5-2. Their goalie performance wasn't great. Their defense was awful. But hopefully they can, that'll light a fire under them and bring them further and further and further. But one other guy that on Team Canada I thought played okay last night is Joshua Roy. Habs prospect Joshua Roy. No, he didn't get a point. He didn't really, didn't have a glamorous box score. But what he did do was skate hard and hustle, and it seemed like the announcers noticed it. I saw some other Habs fans notice that he was working hard every single shift. And as we said, coming in, like when he was drafted and coming into the queue, some people were saying like maybe his speed, his athleticism, his skating maybe would not translate to the next level. But I think he proved us wrong in that game last night. I thought his skating was on par with some of the best players there. And I thought overall he had a pretty good game. Did you notice Joshua Roy last night, or were you like kind of still a bit iffy on him?
No, I definitely like him a lot. He's really feisty. No relation to Patrick Roy, but, kind of fiery, like all the same. That's what I really liked about his game. Like there was one sequence where he's kind of getting like tripped up, but then he still gets a shot off, still got 3 shots on net. Like he's trying, the Czechia goalie had a good night for sure. But I really, just for his feistiness. And that's why he got brought up to the first line last year, is because you need that combination of skill and grit. And I believe that even Joshua Roy has both of those within himself, but he can adapt to the type of players that he's playing with. He's saying, okay, but if I'm playing with some like really elite skill guys, like on the top 2 lines of Team Canada, well, I might need to bring more of a grit element. So that's what I like about him, is he wins puck battles. He's pushing the puck forward. He's making an effort. And these are the type of players that you win with. And I hope that Team Canada management really notices that and gives him a little bit more ice time and moves him up the lineup a little bit.
I hope so too, because I think, like you said, he's proven himself. He's worked his way up. Last World Juniors, he showed off that he could do literally everything, as Bob McKenzie said. And this year, I mean, again, it felt like he feels like the kind of player that can fit on every single line and can almost like morph into whatever role you need him to play. And I'm really happy with his progress, and I hope to see him play a lot more for Team Canada, and I'm sure he'll have plenty of points by the time the tournament ends. Let's move on to another Habs prospect. So Joshua Waugh, Team Canada, a bit of a disappointing game for them. Waugh looked fine. Jesse, the one I'm most disappointed with yesterday, not because of his play, but because of how little he played, is LAne Hutson, the 18-year-old defenseman, our favorite prospect here on the channel. For Team USA, when he was on the ice, I thought he looked like one of their best defensemen, especially in his own end. He looked like he had a great stick defensively, great awareness, and the thing is, he's touted as more of an offensive defenseman. So to see that was awesome for us, but Jesse, it seems like the coaching just didn't want to play him, especially down the stretch in the third. I think he only had 1 or 2 shifts in the entire third period. Why do you think that might be?
I know, I was looking for him. That hurt me so much. It's definitely because, though, Luke Hughes is 19, where LAne Hutson is 18, and in these type of tournaments, it matters a lot. Like, Luke Hughes is the captain for Team USA, and they play often not just that, but a similar type of role of an offensive one. That being said, Luke Hughes, he scored. I didn't think he had the greatest game either. I mean, they're still young players as well. Obviously, the potential's through the roof, so I would like to see Lane get a little bit more time, but I mean, it's just kind of part of it, right? Is you really got to pay your dues. Like, I think if he is in this tournament next year, which I think most likely he probably will be, you're going to start to see him eating up all the ice time, and Team USA is going to look really scary because of it. But what I really liked is that you didn't even really notice him that much in his ice time, which is a great thing for a defenseman, especially one that's known already he has his offensive capabilities. He's just not really getting that look in the ozone. But for him, somebody where you're questioning, like, okay, how good is he defensively, to not really notice him so much, to see the active stick, as you mentioned, is actually bodes is actually a really good look for him, and actually kind of exactly what you want to see against this level at this competition at this point in his development.
Yeah, I think so too. I think he's looked like, like you said, when you don't notice a guy, it means he's not making mistakes. And as a defenseman, you're not always looking for someone to put up a ton of points in the offensive zone, because that's not what defensemen usually do. LAne Hutson's a bit different. What I wouldn't mind seeing is just some more offensive zone starts for him. Like, I know, like, maybe the coach is, like, worried about his size on defense, whatever, but I wouldn't mind if there's an icing or, if there's a goalie cover-up. Just stick LAne Hutson out there with another defenseman, stick him on the left point, and just see what he can do. That man is a magician in the offensive zone in the NCAA this year. His ability to move with the puck, to pass the puck, and to even shoot in the offensive zone, his ability to create is one of the best in all of college, and probably one of the best skill sets at the World Juniors this year. It's unfortunate we didn't get to see him a little bit more. I believe he's wearing number 20. I was looking for him, and I couldn't really see him much, but like you said, Jesse, I think if he gets more opportunity, he can really prove himself, and I'm looking forward to that. Just a couple other prospect updates for this tournament. We had Kapanen play for Finland yesterday, and actually at the time of recording this video, their game today, December 27th, has finished, and Kapanen scored a goal, which is awesome news for us Habs fans. He's looked pretty sweet, silky hands, like, he's just kind of a smooth player. And Adam Engstrom, defenseman for Sweden, in their absolute rout of Austria, 11-0 yesterday. He had 2 assists in the second period. As a defenseman, 2 points in any game is great. Unfortunately, the other Habs prospect in that game, Vinzenz Rohrer, was out with an illness, but hopefully he'll be back before the end of the tournament. Jesse, anything else you want to mention about Kapanen or Engstrom, or did anything stand out from them? Or is there one of those two that you're maybe more excited to see in the upcoming games as a Habs fan?
Well, you always got to like those Swedish defensemen.
Yeah.
It's could turn out to be amazing. But yeah, with Oliver Kapanen, cool that he's the captain of Team Finland, and great to see him on the board here today.
Great to see him. I mean, I'm super excited. Engstrom, I mean, we didn't have our best, Finnish prospect, Matthias Norlinder. I still have a little hope for him, but Engstrom looks like the real deal. He looks smooth. He looks strong, and he clearly has the ability to pass and get some assists, so we're super happy about that. Final little thing to close off this video today, Jesse. You sent me the text. I actually didn't see it until you told me, but Justin Barron is finally back up with Montreal. The guy we traded away our beloved Arturi Lehkonen for. We get a second and Justin Barron back just last season. He looked pretty good in his limited minutes with Montreal at the end of last season, and coming into this year, he didn't crack the roster right out of camp. He was in the AHL, but with the amount of injuries to our defensemen, David Savard and LTIR, well, not LTIR, but IR, Matheson still day-to-day. He might be back soon. Not really sure. We just have so many players coming in and out of the lineup. First of all, what is your reaction to Barron finally being called up? Because I'm elated. And second, who do you think he might end up playing with? Because to me, it's honestly really nice that we have another right-handed defenseman. We can probably slot in with anybody.
Yeah, no, I'm really happy to see him come up. I think he deserved it. He didn't set the AHL on fire to kind of start the season. I think maybe getting over a little bit of an injury, lingering lower body injury. I think maybe he's getting a little bit healthier, gaining his confidence. So I think it was really good for, at least for right now, for his development to be there, because he started to kind of turn it on a little bit. He's got 7 goals, 16 points now in 25 games, which isn't bad for a defenseman in the AHL. He always has had like a little bit more of an offensive side to his game, which for me I find like really exciting. And to answer your question, Josh, about who I feel he could be paired up with, I know we were kind of talking about it earlier, just kind of brainstorming on it. And like, I think you mentioned a great point, like about possibly putting him with Xhekaj. I could see them going well together. But I think eventually it would be really nice to see with them if Barron can develop. And this is a big if, but could see him being really good with Kaiden Guhle, because of course they have experience playing. Speaking of the World Jays, playing together for Team Canada in the past. So of course that would mean a big step up for Justin Barron, because that would mean playing on your first pairing essentially with Kaiden Guhle. I mean, I could definitely see it. 2 guys that have great two-way games. I think Guhle could definitely anchor out. He's smart enough to kind of maybe play a little bit more of a defensive role in that pairing, but we still know what he has to offer. So I think they could really complement each other really nicely as a long-term project.
I think that'd be cool because Barron has the offensive upside to be able to play there. I think he just needs to develop a little bit more. He started to find his groove in the AHL after a number of games because early in the season, the Rocket were not performing well. Barron could not find his scoring touch at all. People said he didn't really look amazing, but in the last few weeks, he's really bounced back, and there's a reason he got called up to the big club. I think if this development continues and he gets some more run with Montreal, I think that's not out of the realm of possibility. Kaiden Guhle's kind of a do-it-all defenseman, some great offensive creation, great defensive stick, big body, does a bit of everything, and I think a dynamic defenseman in Justin Barron could really suit him well, so I like that idea. I like the idea that Justin Barron will turn into a first-pairing defenseman, and I think I'm going to hold on to it, and yeah, I'm excited. Why not, right? I'm excited to see what he'll do in our game tomorrow. We got back-to-back games on the 28th and 29th, so it'll be really, really exciting to see what he does in the next coming days. But other than that, that'll do it for this news edition of Habs Digest. If you like the video, leave a like, comment, subscribe to the channel. We love your guys' support, and like we said, we hope it continues into the new year and beyond. I'm Josh Gosse for my co-host, Jesse Poirier. We'll catch you in the next one.